My golden sister built her career on my failure. I came back to turn her triumph into disaster. My name is Christina, I'm 26, and trust me, I was never the golden child that families adore. That title went to my older sister, Kate. She's 29 now, and it's as if the universe decided she was a gift from the start. Kate has always been the one everything fell perfectly into place for. Whether it was acing her classes, winning praise from our parents, or somehow charming everyone who crossed her path, including my friends. She was always a step ahead, always shining. And me? I was the overlooked one, the dark horse nobody paid much attention to. Honestly, it burned me inside, made me feel invisible. We never had a friendship. We were like oil and water, maybe worse. Growing up, it was constant rivalry, each of us trying to find our place. But when it came time to start our careers, I thought I'd finally get my own spotlight. Wrong. Kate had a way of twisting things to work in her favor, no matter the cost. I poured myself into a project that I thought would be my big break, my proof that I could succeed. But Kate, ever the sly manipulator, swooped in and claimed my work as her own. No thanks, no apologies, just a cold, smug smile and an, "Oh, I didn't know it mattered to you." With that, she rose up the career ladder, proudly basking in the success she stole, leaving me jobless with my reputation in tatters. Family, they only added salt to the wound, making excuses for her and painting me as the failure. "You just couldn't handle the workload," they'd say, ignoring that their golden girl had stabbed me in the back and built her success on my effort. For them, Kate was a prodigy, talented, deserving of all her success. And I was just the bitter sibling who couldn't keep up. Let them think that. I packed my bags, left town, and gave her all the space she needed to bask in her stolen glory. But I left with a promise to myself that I'd return, better, smarter, and ready to make her pay. Years passed, and I rebuilt myself from scratch, studied my mistakes, and took every chance to grow stronger. Each lesson, each hardship was like seasoning in a slow-cooked dish, deepening my resolve and perfecting my plan. You see, revenge is like a fine marinade. The longer it sits, the richer the flavor. And now, I'm back, ready to turn her triumph into the disaster she deserves. Years came and went, each one a step in my slow ascent, my quiet transformation. And now, here I am, back in the town that once felt like a cage, every street, every corner, saturated with the ghost of Kate and her so-called success. Since I left, she's become something of a local legend. My sister, the Golden Girl, is practically a household name now. She's the one who made it, a shining star in the business world, adored by her office, respected by clients, practically worshipped by everyone she works with. Her name is practically written in lights above that building. Kate, the prodigy, the visionary. Everywhere I turn, people praise her accomplishments like they're reading from some scripted fairy tale. They talk about her brilliant ideas, her tireless work ethic, her unique path to success. The reverence is almost absurd, but instead of clapping, I came back with a very different plan. First, I had to disappear into a new identity. With big glasses, my hair hidden under a hat, I became someone else entirely. Enter Lisa, a supposed business partner from a neighboring city, here to explore collaborations. I walked into her office with a carefree smile, pretending to be a client, eager to work with this renowned figure. The moment I set foot inside, I could practically feel her name humming through the walls, electrifying the room. Her employees looked up at her with such awe, like she was the office goddess herself. I had to keep from laughing at how absurdly predictable it was. As I sat in the waiting area, I heard whispers all around me, tales of her work ethic, her brilliance, her supposed rise to greatness. "Kate truly deserves everything she's achieved," one said, practically starry-eyed. "She's worked harder than anyone." The admiration in their voices was so fervent, almost like a prayer. I listened to it all, each admiring murmur brushing over me like background noise. Let them hold on to their illusions for a little longer, they'd find out soon enough. But I wasn't satisfied with watching from the sidelines. I decided to get my hands a bit dirty, do some digging of my own. I slipped some cash to the right people, flashed a few flirtatious smiles, and before I knew it, I had access to all her secrets. Confidential documents, emails, project histories, they were all there, handed over like candy. And what did I find? a treasure trove of proof that her so-called brilliant ideas weren't hers at all. Half of them were lifted from old projects, many of them my own work from years ago. She'd polished them up, added her signature, and paraded them around like original masterpieces. It was almost comical. I stood there, scrolling through her files, my smile growing wider with each revelation. Here was Kate, the self-made genius, the unstoppable force, built on a foundation of stolen ideas. She was like a master thief, draped in a crown of achievements that weren't hers, boasting about a legacy she had no right to. It was as if she'd moved into a house I'd built, decorated it, and claimed it as her own, basking in the admiration of everyone who walked by. And they all believed her. But not for long. Each file, each email, each stolen project was a thread I could pull to unravel the whole thing. And as I pieced together her fraud, I felt that long-buried anger bubble up, sharper than ever. Years of being ignored, overshadowed, treated like I was nothing while she took everything that was mine and made it hers. Well, now it was my turn. The stage was set, and I was ready to watch her entire empire crumble piece by piece under the weight of her lies. I wasn't just here for revenge, I was here for justice. And by the time I was done, her success would be nothing but a memory, a faded story told in whispers, a reminder of the cost of stealing from those you thought would stay silent forever. Over the next few weeks, I became the shadow of her downfall. The idea? Simple, but as effective as a nail in a tire. I started writing anonymous letters to her clients. You can't imagine the satisfaction I felt typing up messages hinting at her dishonest methods, attaching fake documents and contracts that looked so authentic. Even I got a bit spooked. And you know what? It worked like a charm. Clients began to get nervous, losing confidence in her. The company fell into chaos. Some whispered in the halls, others started asking questions, and some even considered changing suppliers. And Kate? Well, imagine her frustration when her beloved clients began dodging her calls. What used to sound like, "Kate, it's always a pleasure working with you," turned into a cold, "Sorry, but we've decided to look at other options." Her irritation grew with each passing day, and with it, my quiet delight. Look who's on the verge of a breakdown now. And then one day, I sent her the final anonymous letter that would be the icing on the cake. I laid it all out. Your reputation is a fake. Your ideas are stolen. You're just a talented fraud. Yes, it might sound harsh, but after everything she'd done, I wanted her to feel what it was like to be on the edge. And you know what? It worked. She started the day as the boss, confident and assured, but by lunch, she was scrambling around the office like a woman possessed, trying to convince everyone it was all ridiculous rumors. But the staff looked at her with cautious suspicion, as though she were a character in a cheap spy thriller. They practically recoiled as she passed, exchanging glances behind her back as if everyone was beginning to suspect something was amiss. Her confidence was evaporating before my eyes, and it was like watching a slow descent into chaos that I happily encouraged. The final blow was as perfect as a punchline that had been brewing for years. I gathered her former clients in one room, as though for a secret meeting, and stepped out in front of them with the most menacing smile I could muster. These were people who once trusted her, who thought Kate was the queen of business. Not so much. I hired lawyers to file a suit against her for unethical business practices, and this move was like the final shot in a film. Sharp, brutal, and leaving no chance for recovery. Kate? She was in shock. As rumors turned into official accusations, her office was overtaken by a tidal wave of investigations, like a tsunami destroying everything in its path. Clients left one by one, employees deserted like rats from a sinking ship, and her reputation plummeted faster than anyone could have imagined. The former queen of success found herself at the epicenter of a nightmare entirely of her own making. While she floundered, I stayed in the shadows, never losing a moment. But finally, the time came for me to step onto the stage. She was called to court. I entered the courtroom as a new person, removed the glasses, took out the fake hair, and revealed my true face. She saw me, and oh, what a sight it was. Kate turned pale, as if she'd seen a ghost. And honestly, at that moment, I was her personal nightmare come to life. I leaned close so she could hear every word and said calmly, with a smile that made her blood run cold, "This is the end, Kate. Now your life will be as empty and broken as you made mine." After that, the court delivered its verdict, and Kate was left with nothing. No job, no friends, no respect. She simply vanished into her own web of lies. And me? I achieved what I had worked so long for: complete, absolute satisfaction, knowing that her career crumbled like a house of cards at the slightest breath of my final blow.